So with faction mission progress and the insured weapon slots being reset in Season 4, you'll unfortunately need to work to unlock your insured weapon slots all over again, but don't worry now because they're even easier to get. So here is the new fastest way to unlock the second insured weapon slot in DMZ Season 4, so you can have more insured weapons and do better in games. If you find this useful, be sure to leave a like and check out my other Season 4 guides, like leveling up the battle pass, leveling up weapons, and other DMZ faction missions, but without further ado, let's get straight into the guide. So in order to unlock the second insured weapon slot in Season 4 of DMZ, there's 3 tasks you need to do. The first task is to extract 3 IFAKs found at hospitals. The second task is to extract 1 AFAK or large medical bag, and the third task is to extract 1 enemy operator's weapon. So we're going to talk about how to do those tasks as quickly and as easily as possible because it's not too difficult, so let's go through that now. Now IFAKs and AFAKs are 2 different types of first aid kit, and for this you'll need, like I say, 3 IFAKs and then 1 AFAK or a large medical bag. Now all of these items can be found in hospitals, so when you get to a hospital, make sure you search the whole hospital, downstairs and upstairs, and it'll be most likely that these items will be upstairs in the hospital, and in particular the IFAK and the AFAK first aid kits will either be on a hospital bed or table or in the medicine cupboards on the wall, so make sure to check all of the surfaces in the hospital and all of the first aid kits on the wall because they might be in either of those places. And then the large medical bag, for if you can't find an AFAK, will likely be on one of the beds or tables in the hospitals. They're not quite as common, but you can find them a lot, so you'll definitely either have a very good chance of finding an AFAK or a large medical bag, so don't worry about it too much. But you're probably wondering, well, where do I go to find these hospitals? I'm going to talk about that now. So on Al Mazrah there's 6 main hospital locations, and these are as follows. You first of all got Sector C3, which is in the western foothills. It's near Al Safwa Quarry, so there's one there near the road. Then below that, Sector D6, you've got Saeed City, which is it's next to the river. I'll show you guys where it is. We've then got Sector D8, which is Sawa Village, between the shipwreck and the land, so there's one there in the flooded village. So those are all on the left hand side of the map, and then on the right hand side of the map there's one in Sector F4 on the southern outskirts, so it's basically in Al Mazrah City but it's south of the river and it's close to the river itself. And then for the final 2 we've got Sector H5, which is in east suburbs, so it's a building like northwest of the highway basically. And then the last one is within H5 sector but overlaps with G5 as well, so it's Sector G5/H5, so basically it's the bottom left corner of H5 and it crosses over into G5, and it is near to the river as well. So those are your 6 main hospitals in Al Mazrah, and what I would say is you're definitely not going to find all of these items in one go in any hospital, and also hospitals are popular for getting items, so it may have been raided. Sometimes they can also be strongholds as well. But what I would say is that go to one and try and go to one where it's unlikely enemies are, because you don't want to clash with enemies, otherwise you're less likely to get the items. So go to one, get everything you can, and you'll normally find at least 1 IFAK, if not 2. And then go to another one, you then might find another one, or an AFAK or a large medical bag, and go to 2 or 3 and you'll get all your items quite easily. So you should be able to do it easily in one game, but if you can't, then maybe 2 games at most. You should be able to get this all done fairly easily. Obviously, once you've got a lot of stuff and you think, well, even if it's not everything, if you're worried about losing that stuff, because obviously if you die it won't count because you need to exfil with this stuff, then just grab what you've got, make do with that, then head to the nearest exfil point in a vehicle ideally, and then get there as quickly as you can and extract. Now what I would say is that sometimes the nearest exfil point might not be the best one, because sometimes it's quite a busy area, there might be people camping around, so if anyone's died near there or it looks like it's going to be a busy area, then don't go to that one. Try and go to one that's a little bit further away that you're more likely to survive at, because there's no point going there and dying. So that's what I recommend. Obviously go to the exfil point, call in a helicopter, and then extract with that stuff, then come into another game to get all the rest of the stuff you need. If one of the hospitals is a stronghold, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure you've either got a key card or you can find or buy one. What I would say is that if there are any enemies in the hospital, then you can go all around the hospital. You can climb up to the 2nd floor around the back on the ladder, you can look in all the windows, and you should be able to kill a few of the enemies. So if it is, don't worry about it too much, because you can thin some of the enemies before you even get into the building, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. So that's how to get the 3 IFAKs and then 1 AFAK/ a medical bag. The other place which I forgot to mention in terms of where to find IFAKs and AFKs, and I believe also a large medical bag, is police stations. So these police stations match very closely the locations of hospitals. So for example, they're in like Saeed City, Al Mazrah City, all the similar places that the hospitals are, and these police stations are great because they also do have things like IFAKs and AFAKs quite often. So make sure you're looking there for those as well. not just in hospitals. Once you've done that, the last task you need to do is extract one enemy operator's weapon. Now, obviously, if you can do this beforehand, then great, but you'll often run into enemies in DMZ. Now, if you do, make sure you have lots of ammo, full armor or health, stims, etc., maybe a self-revive as well. And you want to take cover and aim down sight when going around corners or away from cover, and try to take out at least one enemy player. So be very careful about how you do it. If you've got a large magazine, a good gun, and you've got loads of health and armor, you should have the upper hand. So that's how to actually, kill an enemy. But how would you actually go about finding one? Maybe you guys are struggling to actually find one. How can you do it? Well, there's a couple of different ways. First of all, you can call in like UAVs. That will help you to find enemies. You can also do like hunt or bounty contracts, and that will help to find enemy players too. Obviously, they will know someone's coming for you, but you will know where they are based on the contract, so it will show you where they are, so it is kind of helpful. And the other thing is, if you're still struggling, what I would recommend, and I know it sounds a bit campy and it can be very frustrating if it happens to you, but if you're struggling to find someone, stay around an exfil site, because people often don't expect you to come, and then if you are waiting there and someone comes along, you can easily kill them. They'll then die. You literally pick up their weapon that they drop and then, exfil. So it's as simple as that. But whatever method you do is up to you, but those are a few methods I've found to kill enemies quite easily. And also the other thing is, it doesn't just have to be you. So anyone on your team, if they do this challenge, that will count towards your task as well. So if you're lucky enough that someone else in your team does it, then great, you'll have done it. So even just keeping it as a mission when you go in, there is a chance it will be completed for you. So don't worry about it too much. But once you've found and killed an enemy, pick up their weapon, like I say, that they dropped, and head for the nearest exfil point, or the safest one, depending on what you want to go for. And once you've done that, you'll have then extracted that one enemy operator's weapon, and you'll have completed all 3 tasks, and you'll now have the second insured weapon slot in DMZ Season 4. So it's obviously great because you can either bring in 2 insured weapons in one game, or you can do what I like to do, which is bring in 1 insured weapon and maybe like a contraband weapon, and then if I die and I lose that weapon, I've then got a second insured slot, so I don't have to wait a long time to get my weapon back again. So it's kind of useful for that, I would say. But if you found this useful, be sure to leave a like. Check out my other Season 4 guides. Like, I've got loads of other DMC faction mission guides, so feel free to check them out. Guides on how to unlock different weapons, weapon XP, and battle pass videos, all that kind of stuff. Feel free to subscribe as well by clicking the bell icon to stay up to date with all my latest Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone videos. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you found it useful, and I'll see you guys all on the next one.